of your efforts have been in vain, for the draining of the world tree has already begun. Soon, the heart of your world will beat no more.
Hello everyone, Volfey here. Congratulations, you have finally managed to break through and come to Archimonde. And he's waiting for you. Eredar Demon, right hand of Sargeras himself. If you know the lore, you know that this fight should be as difficult as I'm not gonna wash down anything nor sweet talk anymore, just gonna say good luck to you. Archi will be hitting decently hard on your tank, so hopefully he is good. Melee damage can reach up to 9000, but apparently again it cannot crush. With few hots, Holy Paladin and Resto Shami chain healing melees, it should be okay. Airburst Ability targets random raid non-tank member and shoots him or her and everyone else around the target in 13 yards radius high up in the air and deals 3000 nature damage. Which means spreading is important. Boss will target the player and you will see an aggro warning on the screen and your DBM will pop a message. This mechanic is quite unique in the entire TBC as you have to use Tear of the Goddess as some sort of parachute to survive falling down. Don't use it too early or too late, and please put it on your action bars. A little trick on how to practice this outside of instance is to jump from Aldo Rise as a druid and use flight form before you hit the ground, but at the height of the stairs. Once you master that, this mechanic is easy. Next ability is Grip of the Legion. Curse that boss puts on a random raid member that deals 2500 shadow damage every 2 seconds for 5 minutes. It has to be decursed as soon as possible by mages and druids, so make sure to have at least 5 decursers. Doomfire Strike. It appears as it erupts from the ground and then starts moving towards a player or group of players. Initially hits for about 2500 fire damage and leaves a dot which ticks for the same amount every second for 45 seconds. It is what kills most of the players. If fire starts going towards your group, run away in a straight line, or at least as straight as possible away from the boss. It has always been a myth how it works. Does it follow a player or it goes randomly? Well, it does follow a player, but it changes targets very often, depending how close is the closest player to its current target. Fire stays on the ground for quite some time, so don't get in close like a sheep. At any given moment, deep into the fight, there won't be more than 3 fire trails burning at the same time. Fear, or to be exact, AoE Fear, much like Howl of Terror, fears everyone for up to 8 seconds. Interesting when combined with 3 Doomfires on the ground. Combination of the two is what wipes the raids. For this reason you gotta be close to your group's shamans and their tremor totems. There are 3 tricks that I'd like to share with you. First one is that some guilds require their raiders to use PvP trinkets for that oh shit moment. Second one is to use abilities that negate fear mechanics if you have such, for example Bestial Wrath, Berserker's Rage, etc. And the last trick that might or might not work nowadays is backpedaling. Basically walking backwards and then getting feared means you will walk slower while feared, and fear will run out or get dispelled before you reach Doomfire. Soul charges are pretty much double whammy punishments. Each time a raid member dies, the boss receives a soul charge that can be one of these 3 you see on screen. One death can set off a snowball effect of many others dying, which results in a boss kill. Of course not, it results in a wipe. Boss has 2 more abilities, which are almost never casted, especially if everything else goes well. That's Finger of Death and Hand of Death. Finger is casted on a random player if there is no one in the boss's melee range. Also, it is spam ability in phase 2, but more about it in a minute. Hand of Death is instant death, blackness and darkness for the entire raid, which is pretty much his enrage mechanic. Tank the boss just below the stump. This is the stump. Melees be behind the boss, but as far as you can so you don't airburst the tank. Rest 4 parties take position in the shape of an X, like so. Raid leaders will have to think up front and rearrange the group so every party has a healer, decurser and a shaman, or at least a healer and a shaman. But this fight is RNG heavy and very unforgiving. Inside your party, spread around the tremor totem and as far away from each other as possible due to airburst. Also on top of that, make sure you're at least 10 to 15 yards away from the Doomfire trail due to fear. Parties can move and shift around if needed be, but keep in mind your party's decursor and tremor totem. Now for the fight itself. Archimonde is a survival fight that consists of 2 phases. First is from the beginning, of course, and second starts at 10%. Reaching the second phase is a win condition. Every boss mechanic is designed to be handled by each player personally. Shaman will drop down totem, Dicker so will Dickers, Tank will move boss if fire spawns close to him, Priest will fear ward the tank, Melees will DPS for the first 30 seconds of the fight and then run out and morally support the rest of the raid. It's all about synergy. You can be the best resto druid out there, heal the raid, use your tier spotlessly, decurse every curse, but if your shaman does not have tremor totem down, you will get feared and possibly die, or let someone else die, and vice versa. So do your part of the work and hope that everyone else does theirs. While fighting Archimonde, keep your priorities straight. Use this algorithm I made to avoid dying. As aforementioned, keep fear ward rotation on the tank, and in case someone is not familiar with the term of stance dancing, it is basically done through a macro shown on the screen. Be careful with it cause it works on GCD, so spam it until it puts you back into defensive stance, which happens after GCD. While kiting a boss, don't go too close to water cause it is a wipe. Also, as a caster or a healer, dipping in the water after an airburst will silence you. When you reach 10% boss HP, phase 2 will start. Everyone will get an additional buff, which will decrease all damage taken by 100%. From that point on, all you have to do is DPS down the boss while he's trying to perform a proctology exam on the entire raid at the same time. On a scale from 1 to 5, I think most will agree with me that this requires a full 5. This boss will differentiate bad and pro players from those decent ones. Bad and pro players are more prone to fail mechanics due to lack of locomotor harmony movement or just being cocky. That is it pretty much. All that is left is to resent and hate the boss even more cause once again he dropped some of these. After God knows how many wipes. For every subscribe and like on this video, I'll do a ritual deep in the Mount Hyjal which increases your chances of dropping something like this. Thank you all for checking the video, stay safe and have fun playing the game. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.